Yo, 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 it's time to bust out the green, polish those beer glasses, and warm those vocals. Me, 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 me. For those Irish drinking songs. Because St. Paddy's Day is almost here, and I've got some different takes on the Irish American classic, corned beef and cabbage. Welcome to Mama Reubo's Kitchen. Corned beef has a long Irish history, and though it has changed from what it originally was back then, it is the top Irish American traditional celebratory dish during this holiday. But we're going to shake things up with these 3 different dishes. So let's get into them. Now each recipe has corned beef, of course, so we're going to start by cooking that. Now you can do it in the slow cooker, which you'll just put the meat in the slow cooker, cover it with water, add the seasoning packet, and then you'll just want to cook it low and slow for 8 to 10 hours. Alternatively, you could also do it in the pot on the stovetop. So you'll just put the meat in a large pot, cover it with water, add the seasoning packet, and then you'll just bring it to a boil and then reduce it down to a simmer and let it simmer covered for about 3 to 4 hours. And then remove it and set it aside, but make sure you save the liquid. All right, so for an appetizer, we can do the corned beef and cabbage fritters. In a mixing bowl, mix together the mashed potatoes, the corned beef, the Swiss cheese, the cabbage, and the green onions. Now you're going to form those into balls just a little bit smaller than golf balls. Then you're going to create an egg wash by combining the 2 eggs with the 2 tablespoons of water, and then whisk. Prepare a dish with the panko breadcrumb, and then you want to go through a standard breading procedure. So, dip each ball in the egg wash and let the excess drip off, and then roll them in the panko breadcrumbs. Once they're all coated, then you'll just want to refrigerate these for at least 30 minutes before frying. And this is just to help avoid the fritters falling apart during the frying process. Alrighty, and so I have some oil at 350 degrees, and I'm just going to get these fried in batches until they're golden brown. For a soup and salad lunch, there's the corned beef and cabbage chowder. So in a pot, melt the butter and then cook the onions and the celery on medium heat until tender. Then stir in the reserved beef broth along with the cabbage and the carrots. You're going to bring that to a boil, then reduce that to a simmer, and then cover and allow to simmer for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. Then stir in the beef bouillon and the mustard. Then mix the flour with the milk and then add it to the pot. Bring just to a boil and then reduce to a simmer, stirring constantly until the chowder thickens, about 5 minutes. Stir in the corned beef until it's heated through, but don't allow it to boil. And here's a delicious dinner idea with the corned beef and cabbage rolls. Now you just want to cook your carrots by boiling them in some water until they're slightly tender. Make a gravy by melting the butter in a pan and sauteing the onions until tender. Add the flour to make a roux, and then you're just going to allow this to cook for 1 to 2 minutes so that it just cooks the flour taste out. Add the broth 1 cup at a time, stirring constantly. As it thickens, add more broth to thin it out. And then you're gonna allow the gravy to cook and thicken. Now once the gravy coats the back of the spoon, it's ready. So then just remove it from the heat and set it aside. Now peel the leaves from the head of the cabbage, and you'll want to steam them for about 2 or 3 minutes until they're just getting tender. To assemble, lay each leaf out, and then add the mashed potatoes, the corned beef, and the carrots, and then roll it up like a little burrito. Pour some of the gravy into the bottom of the casserole dish, and then add the cabbage rolls, and then top it with the rest of the gravy. Bake in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes until everything is warmed through.